And we are live.
It's a fact you're not here. You ain't even real, but you still bring me fear. You make my bones so tired that my soul stands up. But now I'm starting to need to bleed to fill this cup. It's like I'm starting to need to bleed to fill this cup. Oh.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Working Wing Podcast. My name is Killian Collins, and I'm here talking with my good friend and longtime debate partner, Tim Schultz, with a beard that makes Edric Angles look like Mussolini. I'm happy to be here, and I'm hearing a huge echo right now, and I'm going to take that out of my ear. But I'm here, and we're both happy to show you these election results of 2022 for the midterm so far at about 9:30 night Central Time.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of I think Wisconsin is Wisconsin just got done voting half an hour ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I think polls closed at 8.
Oh, they closed at 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mistake.
So far, I guess I will just throw this up right away. The New York Times tracker. All right, so yeah, right now their tracker is pretty much dead even. They're predicting the Republicans will take the House of Representatives. The Senate is like right now they have it predicted as a 50-50 deadlock. So that's pretty horrible. I guess let's start in Wisconsin. Let's go take a look at Wisconsin real quick. So right now, with just over, oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this, everybody. Look at this in Wisconsin. I have been saying this. I said this the entire lead up to this election. It's going to be close. It's always going to be close. And it'll just come down to how many people actually voted in Milwaukee this time around.
Well, let's take a look at Milwaukee so far. See what's coming so far.
So Milwaukee, I am seeing about 53% of votes in. Obviously, Mandela Barnes.
That's still a little under half the population. If that's that sucks, unfortunately. But Dane County, look at that. Dane County coming out strong.
Yeah, like we were talking about before we went live. Our home county. Oh, that's evened up a little. No, it's actually not. Okay, I misread that. Yep, Outagamie is bad.
Our home county, Outagamie County, home of Willem Dafoe.
Yes,
and home of Willem Dafoe and Tim Schultz
and Killian Collins.
No, not really me as much. I mean, I second home, yes, yeah.
Really, where do you consider yourself to be from?
Outagamie? Oh yeah, no, oh yeah, home of that too. I meant your house, like.
Oh yeah, no, my specific house, yes.
Tim's specific house, yes, is the home of the old home of Willem Dafoe. But no, Willem Dafoe is fucking awesome.
Brown County, okay, Brown County is going for Mandela Barnes. I feel like Brown County is a swing area.
Yeah.
That's only 1% of votes in so far over there.
Uh-oh. Wait, I just saw it just change. Him.
Oh, it's a good change, though.
It's a good change. Look at that.
Mandela Barnes is ahead by 66,000 votes. Let's go to Wisconsin as a whole. So Senate, that's a dead heat. Governor, that's also pretty much a dead heat. but Tony Evers is ahead by more. I feel better about Tony Evers' chances thus far than I do, say, Mandela Barnes.
Like, do you feel like there's like people who voted for Ron Johnson who also voted for Tony Evers?
I don't.
It's possible.
It is possible. I don't. I never understand the logic of that.
Got to represent, New Glarus.
Yes, Killian is drinking New Glarus. I am drinking the traditional drink of Democratic failure in Wisconsin. That is to say, Old Crow whiskey and Coca-Cola.
Yep, that is. It's bitter, like a loss, like the loss.
God.
And in reference to us, that is an old little story about like a long time ago in our friendship during another election season that was very pivotal in Wisconsin. It was during the Scott Walker recall in 2011.
Yes.
Yeah, after the Packers won the Super Bowl, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that was a crazy winter in our state. It really was because that year we won the Super Bowl, and then I think
the teachers went on strike.
There was like a whole that there were literally like Republic, like the 6 Democratic senators literally like fled the state and went to go hide in Illinois to avoid being forced to vote.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it
was wild.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And again, every single Wisconsin election since then has been decided by like less than 10,000 votes. I want to say it can't be that much.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, it sucked because I specifically what I remember doing is because like I was a college student at the time, and I had moved back in with my grandparents for the summer, but I didn't. I couldn't quite register myself.
Yes, because it was a weird summer election because it was a recall.
Yes, it was a recall election. So I drove back. I drove back from Outagamie to Milwaukee, which is good hour and a half there to 2 hours. If you're an hour and a half if you're really putting her in there. But like, yeah, so took the day to go down there, vote, came back, and on my way I could hear at NPR the results coming in, like going very sadly into a decisive win for Scott Walker. And I called Tim, and Tim had some Tim was also saying the same damn thing, just kind of, yelling, screaming like, yeah, we're fucked, dude. We're fucked, dude. And like, I'm screaming like in my car on my way home, like, we're fucked. Yeah, we are fucked. We're fucked. It's like, so school's fucked. Fucking wages here, fucked. Fucking corporate handouts, super fucked. Like,
and all of that turned out to be totally true. Like Wisconsin is still very much reeling from the damage done by Walker.
Yeah, and will come to be for years. And unfortunately, like if Tim Michaels gets his ass in there, it's like, that will be it will be an exact continuation of that. It will. Like it's like I don't know. Yeah, who is like who has it really been good for at all? Like,
yeah. All right, let's do a little check-in on some of the other top races here. It's all. I feel like
go back up. Like I feel like about. Wait, the Democrats keep another. Okay, Democrats kept another seat in the Senate. Okay. Sorry, that was a good Rick burp there.
Hey, let it out. Better out than in. That's what I always say.
These fucking Democrats do like I'm doing. You don't understand, Tim. These fucking Democrats.
Democrats.
Pete Buttigieg is a Democrat, though, in my opinion. Like,
of course.
Like, sir, like, Mr. Buttigieg, like, Mayor Pete, you just do kind of look like a fucking like mouse person, though. You do kind of look like you just kind of do, and he'd keep smiling.
All right. Georgia, Herschel Walker is pulling ahead. Well, he's ever so slightly ahead in Georgia. That's going to be too close to call. Tim Ryan is losing in Ohio.
Look at that. Look at you, Ohio. Let's see how Colorado's doing. I heard Colorado was unfortunately kind of.
Oh no, Colorado is done. Michael Bennett won.
Oh hell yeah! That's
Mark Kelly is ahead in Arizona right now. Still a lot left to go in that area.
Utah, which looks beautiful.
Utah is so beautiful and so rotten. It's outstanding. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of that company that was like the electric car rival to Tesla that turned out to be a huge fraud?
No, I have not.
It was like an electric truck company. It's called Nikola.
Oh,
that's
Nikola?
Right. Yeah, but it was an absolute fraud. It was pure bullshit. I was listening to a podcast about it, and like they had some of like the funniest shit where they were just like, oh yeah, I don't know, for some reason Utah has just always been like a real bastion of fraud. I don't know why so many fraudsters like coming to Utah. And it's like, well, the entire state was literally founded by like a con man, a financial con man.
I mean, so good at it, people don't even recognize it.
What happened to my?
What happened to the maps, Tim? What happened to NYT? Did it get just shut down?
Yeah, they shut down NYT.
Right in the middle. They fucking did it.
Sorry, folks. Let me get that beautiful map up. I wanted to go because this is something that you and I have been talking about. Yeah, so a lot more people have voted for Raphael Warnock for Senate than have voted for Stacey Abrams. And I guess I still will never understand that. Similar to kind of the opposite of what we're seeing in Wisconsin. Can you hear me?
What do you mean the opposite of what we're seeing here?
Well, in Wisconsin, we're seeing that more people are voting for Tony Evers than they're for governor than they're voting for Mandela Barnes. But in Georgia, it's the opposite.
More people are voting for their senator than their governor.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't trust her shit.
Maybe.
Like that's the thing is that like because it is also just kind of like how is Georgia overall feeling versus how is Wisconsin feeling? They are very different states, and they've had different histories with these governors too. And I don't really know the continuation of like what their Republican governor like really like was and is, and what legacy they're really kind of carrying on. Whether they're kind of more along the like Trumper camp more than kind of the Paul Ryan-ish kind of camp, like.
Yeah. All right. Update. So this is 58%, but Ron Johnson has pulled ahead of Mandela Barnes. He is leading by
1,000.
literally he is leading by 1,000 votes. Oh man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like Milwaukee didn't come like hard blue. That's an unfortunate.
Well, let me check real quick.
58%.
58% reporting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and unfortunately in the mayoral race too, like there are little Republicans that like run in there. They kind of do the thing where like, they're like running as like they're a Republican running as a Democrat. Like,
Oh,
but
for
it's
sure.
because you have to do that to just like get in there.
Yeah.
But like they were picking up traction. Like that's the thing. Like they're gonna lose, but like obviously there's like a message there where it's like unfortunately people in the city more are getting more and more conservative. Like they're gaining more traction. It is kind of like giving me like a wake up call of like, yeah, maybe some shit needs to change here.
How do you go about changing Milwaukee city politics though?
No, city politics. No, I'm just talking about like getting more like either rebranding. Either Democrats have to change policy and like rebrand a whole lot to get a lot more distance from Republicans, and or just kind of like be able to like build a way, just build that energy like away from like it, like the little conservative underlingings that like are coming from the suburbs and like enclosing in onto the city. And like I mean they have a little like on North Avenue they have a little like Republican like station there that's like been like had like hammers thrown, like it's got a little Republican like poll station. I'm sure you've passed it on the way to my house, Tim, like where it's like all this Republican shit like on the corner of like MLK and North, and it's like a little piece of shit. But like, yeah, it's like they've built up and like they've been a little shanty shack for like 2-3 years, but like, yeah, they're getting bigger and yeah, they're getting more traction, and yeah, they've had some hammers thrown through and shit, but like they just get better glass and they come back and they just add a security camera and they're like, all right, come for us again, bitch. Like it's like, yeah, they're being persistent. It's kind of like, fuck, I got it. We got to be a little more persistent. Like it's got to be a little more consistent with at least like, all right, I'm going to have like traction with actually fucking helping you out, like on the side, like doing mute, like being that kind of fucking person that like isn't going to fucking like have the time to just lecture them about shit, but just like has the quick politics of it, like of what their actions are, showing it by example of like a person they actually kind of want to be, just being less of the type of piece of shit like on the left all the time that like they're just kind of used to just fucking hating and just not wanting to be around because they're obnoxious and don't shut the fuck up. Like we might have to start listening to the people, Tim, that like tell us to shut the fuck up a little bit and like just let them let's hear about their shit for a while. Even if some of it may be wrong or just fucking crazy, we just got to hear them out for a little bit and actually try to understand like where are they coming from really? Like what are they really on that like they are either not like they're not privy to, or like they just haven't heard about yet, because they're just at a different point. They haven't learned about this shit yet. And I think that like what the fucking like Biden left shit, like the Biden Democrat shit is it's just kind of like oh no, we're just kind of those Democrats that would totally go to war in Iraq and like vote you into all that shit and kind of like fuck you over that way. But like, yeah, we're more woke and we're really going to show in their face about like how accepting and how nice we are. But we're also going to like, fund the feds way more and like fund the police way more, just and kind of like what like the Republicans were like, well, yeah, of course you're going to do that, but we're still not going to give you any credit or work with you because of that. Like, so
right. Well, that's the thing is that yeah, like I get that yes, they fund the police more, but like also that the same thing of like Mandela Barnes saying that we need to fund the police less is like
he never
what
said
Ron
that
Johnson
either.
used. He did. No, they actually they played a clip from him on like a virtual town hall saying that like, yeah, we need to defund the police. And the Ron Johnson campaign plastered that all over the state of Wisconsin and aired that commercial on every single podcast I downloaded in the month of October.
Damn. That sucks.
It does suck. So it's like I hear what you're saying, but also like where do you go from there then? If your goal is to like defund the police, like where do you go from there? Where even saying defund the police is going to put you in a worse position to like actually do police reform.
I mean, like, how else do you describe that? Like, you want to reallocate the funds so like it doesn't go toward like the fucking tanks.
I have put forward reform the police because like to me that is like what the actual goal is police reform, not police abolishment, police reform. I think any reasonable person agrees that like any functioning society needs some sort of like police force.
Yeah, and the whole community doing it thing is going to work better in some places and not so well in others.
Right.
But like you do need yeah, and it is like the thing is that it is like a big overhaul that like it's not it needs it definitely needs to be disguised, Tim. It's not it's because it's like what it is needs to be is like a massive overhaul of like how this shit functions.
And to me it's not just funding either.
No, it's not.
You need an end to qualified immunity. You need to hobble the power of the unions. You need to bring actual accountability to policing as well as reducing their tanks and shit. Jacob Blake wasn't killed by a tank.
No, he was killed. He was killed
by. He wasn't killed at all. He wasn't shot. He wasn't shot 9 times with a tank. He was shot 9 times with a handgun.
Yeah, but with a cop that like had like terrible training and
right.
like was
and like no accountability.
Yeah,
did not even have charges pressed against them for that.
No, well, people were defending it because he had a knife in his hand.
Yeah,
and that's the entire narrative. Is it's like, and it's also these ridiculous rules about like, 21 feet within a knife and him having it in front of you, like for like, for him having it in front of you and walking in front of you with a knife for like 8 seconds and you not firing at him is like already an indication that it's like, okay, like you didn't do that then, and
yeah.
So it's like supposedly this whole fucking thing about like him trying to protect the fucking kid, like it's crazy about like shooting a man in front of him into a car. Like it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, shit. Like, like I understand there's like not accountability for that type of fucking thing, but it's like, they just the fact that just went on without anything.
I'm going to bring us to something more that just put a smile on my face. Hold on, it's on my other screen. So this is results from Kenosha, and the city of Kenosha referendum is about marijuana legalization. And it's literally like the most lopsided result you will ever see in any Wisconsin election, probably for the next decade. Yes, weed should be illegal. Weed should be legalized and taxed and regulated. Almost 72% against 28%.
Yeah,
with 69 out of 73 polling locations reporting. So that just puts I don't know if that actually has like binding effect. I don't know how any of this works because the state has not yet legalized and won't anytime soon.
Yeah,
but that's really the only like definitive positive result I am seeing so far at this early hour. I feel bad. I wish we had more definitive results at this time, but I don't think that's the society we live in anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be looking into this the next day.
Let's check in on the needle. Interesting.
Come on, Evers.
I know, right? I feel I have always been rooting for Tony.
I'm also hoping that like Tim Michaels was like isolating those independents more, because honestly, because I am seeing like there is like a little gap that like Evers does have above him, and it's like I just can't help but think that's probably some of the
no, she turned off the Mudge family. Like Jen texted me, she was like I voted Democrat. We do not like Michaels, and I was like, yeah, he's a giant turd.
He has a dick.
Like, yeah, sketchy as fuck. And I think the people of Wisconsin, by and large, agree with her. 64% in, and Michaels is leading, or Evers is leading, but not that much. Oh man.
All right, cool. Kari Lake probably won't be winning Arizona.
Who's Kari Lake?
She's the Republican lady running in Arizona. Republican Trump lady running in Arizona.
Oh, right. Okay.
That faction.
For Senate?
No, for governor.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them.
Yeah. Because Arizona seemed very nice too.
Yeah, it's a close race in Arizona as well, it looks like. Checking on the House. I feel like that's just going to be sad.
The House is going to be a massacre. Like, at the end of the day, I think Republicans are going to take both of them, but hoping like Democrats, like, you know, like Evers could keep Wisconsin.
If Evers keeps Wisconsin, I will be happy. Because he can hold off the craziness for another 4 years that way. As long as the state House does not gain a veto-proof Republican majority, which I don't think they will.
Just hoping. I ain't voting for no fucking Republican state senator.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope not, Killian. We'd have to have some words if that were the case. Yeah, I think this is kind of anticlimactic because we don't fucking know anything yet.
That's fine. That's fine, Tim. That's better like these elections. Plus, it gives Republicans a lot of time to like fight off shit that they don't like. Like I bet you, like I will bet you like for sure that people are gonna say like Republicans are gonna say like, oh my god, like the Evers result was rigged. The other results weren't, but
yeah,
like,
exactly. They rigged the gubernatorial election, but not the Senate election.
Right,
sad.
Like just the presidential, but not the other, but yeah, the other ones. The same old like, Okay, like, and it's like I look forward to them just doing that just so they can just fucking just find the ones that like are still out that and like, okay, get that out of your system because there will be less and less. Thankfully. It is like Q, like like JFK won't come out with Ruth Bader Ginsburg the day before the election. I hope they would. I really hope they would.
Has Q tried to adopt Ruth Bader? Because I know JFK somehow became one of their like weird idols. I thought they just straight up hated Ruth Bader Ginsburg though.
Yeah, like, but I don't know, Tim. It's all this weird. I don't know I don't know the whole Q code. I'm just like saying shit, but like the type of shit that they'd say. It's it's like, and then like Harriet Tubman and
Yes.
and Nathan Bedford Forrest came out and like made out with each other and like fucked like and made a baby that was like the biggest, strongest baby ever, and it like shit all over Mexico and Canada.
The ghost of Frederick Douglass comes out and says, "I'm still a Republican, don't you know?" And then just like fucks off.
Right. Right, and then like goes up to like Ben Carson's like body and like gives it a hug.
Yeah.
Like Ben Carson's dead, but he doesn't have a ghost.
No, you gotta have a soul to have a ghost. Everyone knows that. Oh man.
All right. Oh well. In the meantime, do you want to see how Dr. Oz is doing? That's another race I'm.
Oh yeah, I totally checked out on that one. Let's go check in on Dr. Oz.
I'm Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. So Dr. Oz is losing. What's that? So almost 70% of the votes being reported. Looks like John Fetterman is ahead by around under 70,000 votes.
God damn, dude. That's good.
Yeah, good for him.
Oh my God. I'm glad you looking at this shit because I cannot figure it out.
What can't you?
I'm sorry. I'm looking at other on non NYT fucking results, which are also fine. But I should be looking at what you're looking at. North Dakota, South Dakota, gonna go just fine. Arizona and Wyoming is gonna go for. Well, actually, Wyoming doesn't have an election. They voted their election early. When they voted out, they said, "Cheney, get the fuck out of here. Sick of you, Cheney. Admit your sister is queer."
Too little, too late.
Yeah, too little, too late. No, but Tim, I know we discussed this on air, but you haven't seen Vice, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I think you should give it a watch. I didn't quite catch the ending as much as I should have, but it was, from what I was saying, it's a really good movie that you and I would be like.
No, we should do we should do like a maybe a live stream reacting to Vice.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I'm even fine with us watching it together, and then even just like go, have a couple of drinks watching it, because I think there's some funny shit we can talk about in there. There's some fun analysis stuff we can do with it. Like I was kind of thinking about it with the Elvis movie. Like if we do ever do a little thing we want to do with our friend, like I think like we probably end up talking, like we talk about movies and shit. We probably end up talking about like the Elvis movie or shit like that. Like, and
that would be fun.
Right, exactly. Where it's like, we obviously think different things, but like we're presenting them, and like, sometimes it's gonna, we'll have those little takes, like we're like, or me and Kenny are really trying to get like Tim on something, or like there's something like one person's really trying to like spread out and like both people are like receptive and one person kind of gets more on board as they see it going along, like that. Those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
But that is not as much working ring related as it is politics related as it is just messing around. But Vice is still I know it was a good performance too. Like I just gotta say, like the way Christian Bale did his shit, like just very very, very Chaney-esque. Only seeming like a caricature, like just enough for like with how the whole story was going. I mean, there were things that were caricatured up a little bit, but granted, it is a lot overall how a lot of this shit was happening. Like, and especially just some of the conversations, the way that they are, and the way that like, yeah, this is definitely the way this man thinks. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna take I have a little idea, just like take maybe an energy secretary, things like that. Military energy secretary. Oh, poor Kenosha. Why you gotta be that red? You're still so fucking close, though.
They really are.
Yeah.
Ron John. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's still more votes to come from Racine County because there's no way Ron Johnson actually won Racine County.
Yeah, and I said he's like 5,000 above, but I think that can get caught up. That can get caught up, bro. Oh, no, don't know. Well, Madison went like at least like hard blue. Thank God.
Well, of course.
So the thing though is that like I've lived in Madison for like a little bit. I hated it there. Like I was not having a fun time.
When did you live in Madison?
It was when I was working at like a pita pit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
For 3 months. It did kind of suck ass. But that was definitely like a shitty job where I was making like $500 salary a week.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You got tricked on the salary.
Yeah.
Because you were young back then, and you offer a young kid, it's like, oh yeah, kid, you get a salary. It's like, ooh, wow.
Well, it's definitely more than the minimum wage I came back to.
Was it?
Oh yeah, dude. When I remember coming back, like once I got back to Milwaukee, and it was like if I wasn't like the lead on the like if I came in to help out, like he paid me minimum wage an hour instead of like the $2 extra for like the manager bonus that I would get, like which is like just pay me $9.25. Like I'm working at $9.25. I'm not giving you $7.25 work, but like he would just
that's
be
crazy that you were getting $9.25 as like a lead at a restaurant back then. Like
for that job that like that you and I, Tim, I remember this is a good working week story because I remember you and I had tickets to go see to see Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
In Green Bay for Hulk Hogan's
it was in
comeback.
Milwaukee, wasn't it?
No, it was not in Milwaukee. It was in Green Bay.
Did we drive all the way from Milwaukee to Green Bay and then back to Milwaukee that night?
Yes, sir, we
did.
We
were so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
We were so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just buy tickets for the Milwaukee show?
Dude, I think we did. No, because like the night after that was
That's right. No, you're right. Because I think it was only in Green Bay.
Yeah. No, it was a Green Bay Monday Night Raw, and I think it was after WrestleMania or something like that.
It was right after Elimination Chamber.
That's what it was.
I think Elimination Chamber was in Milwaukee, but those tickets were too expensive.
Yeah.
So we got tickets for Raw the next night in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And so we did that. Yeah, we did the Milwaukee to Green Bay and then back to Milwaukee drive. I did from Appleton to Milwaukee to Green Bay and then back to Milwaukee.
You were
in like a single day.
Yeah, you were the man with that, Tim. Like,
yeah, I think that. But then I think we also had to stop by your like pita pit job. Like
yes,
late
Tim.
at night.
Yes, Tim. I remember them calling me. And like we were like smoking a bowl before we left, like before we were like leaving Milwaukee. And like I get a call from like my boss, and he's like, "Man, Taylor's on vacation, man, and this person called in. Like everyone's making sacrifices, dude." I was like, "Bro, like no,
Are
I
you
just
making
needed today."
sacrifices though?
Like, right, like, right. I was like, me and Tim do that. And Tim, I love it because, like, every time I've had these type of conversations, like, on
I'm in the background being like, "Oh, that's bullshit."
like,
Tell your mom
no,
to fuck off, Gillian.
yeah, you were like screaming, like, no, till like my girlfriend came out of the room. She was sleeping, and she was yelling at me, like, no, do not do that. Do
Yeah.
not do that. Fuck them. And I still told you, like, okay, Tim, let's stop in there for like half an hour. And I did that pretty much that and like you reluctantly were like, I'm not fucking no, we're like just leaving. But I managed to like get you in there, like have me go in there for like 20 minutes or and then fucking was like out of and then we left and fucking enjoyed that fucking like Raw show where, you know, I had to scream at Hulk Hogan where he got that, like, you know, where was that gun, brother? If he's ever working for WWE, because if I'm working for WWE again, I'm putting a gun to my head.
Right.
Again.
That was Hulk Hogan's return to WWE that night.
After,
that's right.
Yeah, after the whole Gawker incident. Wrestling history is crazy, and I fucking love it. Yeah, but yeah, this is not a wrestling podcast, but like, anyway, that was a Working Wing podcast. This is a
that
Working
was
Wing
the struggle. That was a story about the struggle of the proletariat in our
working people, like working for like $7.25 at most $9.25 an hour.
Yeah. And your boss was like some like young rich douchebag, right?
Yes, his mom
was some trust fund kid just like throwing out his money by buying pit franchises.
Oh, his dad worked for Monsanto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like like right, like
just like pieces of shit from top to bottom.
Yeah, like through kind of like my roommates I had like my sophomore year of college, like they were they were douche hats.
And they made you sleep in the closet. They were like literally the parents from Harry Potter.
Yeah, they were like the Dudleys. And well, I mean, it would be one thing because it's like I'm cool taking a smaller room. Like it's whatever. It was honestly like
it was a fucking closet.
Yeah,
I saw that room. It was a fucking. it was like a pantry or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tiny as fuck.
And you were paying equal share rent, right? It wasn't like you were paying a discounted rate.
No, I was paying a discounted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's something at least.
It was something at least. Like it was, I mean, it was still expensive because it was by the dorms, but it was by campus, but it was what it was. I dropped out that semester anyway. That was miserable. That closet was miserable. My roommates were miserable. I was miserable.
Wasn't that ambulance night semester as well?
That was the fall of that. Yeah, that was ugh. That was bad. That was bad.
All right. Well, so do we have anything else we want to look at or say? Let's take a final look, I guess, at these results.
Another look before the flood of them come in. They're probably gonna be flooding into midnight, but we do have work and shit tomorrow.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to call any of the swing states until like sometime tomorrow morning.
Because of how carefully they're going to have to count these.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're like the AP, if you're like the New York Times editor who calls Georgia for Raphael Warnock, you're going to have like 5,000 extremists in Georgia threatening to kill you or whatever. Just can't take that chance.
Yeah, people wake up and hear the bad news.
All right, so here in Wisconsin, Ron Johnson is pulling ahead. God fucking damn it. 68% of votes in, but that's going to come down to the very final percent. Pennsylvania, John Fetterman is ahead. That's going to come down to the final percent. Georgia. God, that is so close. That is so close.
That's so shitty.
That is like 0.6% difference right now.
Chase Oliver, the Libertarian. I guess that's the thing. You just gotta hope. You gotta hope the Libertarians steal enough from Herschel Walker. Like,
please do. I hope there are a lot of people being like, I hate the government and gay people, but I just can't. I just can't with this guy. And Mark Kelly is looking good in Arizona.
I hope there's more gay people who hate the government, but still, I still hope they're not libertarians. But I'm all for gun-toting gay people who hate the government.
Yeah, except we both know that libertarian is really just code for I hate gay people, and I want to.
I don't necessarily think that. I mean, it's like, I mean, like you'd
have to. I mean, the most prominent, by far, the most prominent libertarians of our lifetimes are Ron and Rand Paul, and their brand of libertarianism is just I hate gay people.
Is that based on the legislation they voted on?
Yes, legislation they voted on, legislation that they've introduced, things that they have said in public, things that they have been leaked to have said in private, and just like every single aspect of their public lives.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
That's all that's based on,
Yeah,
spurious things like that.
No, I get that too, but I'm not. I get that people who are Ron and Rand supporters aren't fucking. Yeah, like it might not be that, but I think there may be people who do consider themselves to be libertarians who like are gay and may be on their own shit. And I'm not trying to think, and I'm really not saying like I don't think necessarily that whole thing is like all about hating gay people, but I do see what you mean about like they're the Paul family there.
Yeah. Fucking Ayn Rand worshiping motherfuckers.
Oh, dude, yeah. People who fucking actually say that Ayn Rand is the shit, like, really need to like actually look into like think about like why they're worshiping it. And like think about like, yeah, like if you think that like a main character like in this book, like going in and like raping someone and saying it's okay to justify their power and like with like no ramification of it is like a cool thing. It's like it's not at all. Like it's like that lady was fucked.
That lady was so fucked.
Right. Like, right. But it's like, she's really anti-communist. So it's like, oh, hey, let's worship her. Like,
I mean, she's also like one of the most outspoken atheists, one of the most prominently outspoken atheists of our lifetime, of like the past 50 years in American life as well.
So that kind of prominence.
I know, it sucks. It fucking sucks.
Of being just like, oh yeah, no, you make a bad name for atheists too by being like, yeah, like,
right.
You just be dehumanizing,
right?
Just be absolutely dehumanizing.
And you notice none of them took that part.
No,
everyone who jerks off to her book, none of them took her like outspoken atheism.
Maybe a couple did. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what anyone. Most people, yeah. I mean, I'd say most people kind of do get like the whole fucking like, well, it's just up to you to do it. It's up to you, Mr. Fountainhead. You gotta fucking take it into your own hands. Like they kind of like, the people that like attribute all.
Well, except I think if you like ask Ron Paul who's supposed to do all this stuff you don't want the government to do, he'd be like the church. Whereas like Ayn Rand would be like rich people. Just rich people, or it doesn't happen at all and people just die because they're not good enough to live in
society. Yeah.
All right, well, we've been going for about 50 minutes. I think this is just going to be it's going to be up in the air until like sometime tomorrow.
Okay. All right, well, everybody, I guess we're going to kind of end it for tonight then. I mean, it's gonna be a rough time going forward, regardless. We'll be right here, Working Wing. Keep hammering that ass away.
Back on my feet, that is, if you even care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Keep on working.
Keep on working.